In this podcast episode, the hosts welcome Charlotte Gill, a researcher and writer who has been investigating the misuse of taxpayer money in funding various academic and artistic projects that she categorizes as woke waste. Gill argues that a significant portion of public funds is being allocated to projects that are not only frivolous, but also ideologically driven, often at the expense of essential services and genuine scientific research. Gill introduces the term woke waste to describe the phenomenon where taxpayer money is spent on projects that align with progressive ideologies rather than practical or beneficial outcomes. She highlights her journey into this research, which began when she stumbled upon a study about non-binary inclusivity in higher education. This led her to discover a project that received nearly £700,000 to study pregnant men, spearheaded by Professor Sally Hines, known for her controversial views on gender identity. Gill emphasizes that such funding is indicative of a broader trend in academia where social justice language is used to justify funding for projects that many taxpayers would find absurd. Throughout the discussion, Gill shares several examples of projects that exemplify what she sees as the absurdity of woke waste. One notable project is titled The Europe That Gay Porn Built, 1945 to 2000, which examines the influence of gay pornography on European culture. Another project, which received funding for studying gay pig masculinities, involved research into a niche fetish among some gay men. Gill describes the explicit nature of the research and the bizarre footage that emerged from it, questioning the value and relevance of such studies. Additionally, she mentions a project focused on bedwetting and incontinence from 1870 to 1970, which she argues is an unnecessary use of resources, especially when there are pressing issues in healthcare and social services that require funding. Gill also points out the trend of decolonizing various aspects of culture, including contraception and folk music, which she believes is often vague and lacks substantive value. Gill critiques the role of public funding bodies, such as Arts Council England and various charities, in perpetuating this cycle of woke waste. She explains that these organizations often prioritize diversity and environmental responsibility over the quality of the art or research being produced. This creates an environment where funding is awarded based on adherence to ideological principles rather than merit. For instance, she describes how Arts Council England has specific investment principles that applicants must meet, which often leads to the promotion of projects that align with progressive values rather than artistic excellence. The conversation also touches on the impact of local councils, which Gill argues are often misallocating funds to support LGBTQ+ initiatives and other projects that do not address the immediate needs of their communities. She cites examples of councils funding activities like rainbow paddling sessions while claiming to prioritize frontline services, highlighting the disconnect between public spending and community needs. As the discussion progresses, Gill expresses her skepticism about the current political landscape, particularly regarding the Labour Party and its funding sources. She notes that many of the party's financial backers have vested interests in environmental policies and social justice initiatives, raising concerns about the potential for these influences to shape government policy in ways that may not align with the interests of the general public. Gill argues that the current system is unsustainable and that there is a growing awareness among taxpayers about the misuse of their money. She suggests that this could lead to a bureaucratic revolution, where citizens demand accountability and transparency in how public funds are allocated. The conversation concludes with Gill warning about the potential consequences of genetic sexual attraction, a phenomenon that may arise from the increasing use of technology in reproduction, further complicating the societal implications of these ideological trends. Gill's insights into the misuse of taxpayer money reveal a troubling trend in public funding that prioritizes ideological conformity over practical benefits. Her research into woke waste highlights the absurdity of certain academic and artistic projects, raising important questions about accountability and the role of government in funding initiatives that may not serve the public good. As awareness of these issues grows, Gill believes that citizens will increasingly demand a reevaluation of how their money is spent, potentially leading to significant changes in the political and cultural landscape.